Hello students, a very warm welcome to this EDUSAT lab. I'm your friend Deepak Sharma. So hope you all have settled enough. So today our topic is a bit different from the communication skills. It's your chapter from the book Panorama. And before starting the chapter, I think you must be excited to know about the topic. First of all my friends, I request you to refer to the screen that is in front of you. So I think you must be watching two slides in front of you. One is fear and other is no time for fear. Now the question is, in your life, sometimes the situations are when you get frightened, जो सी डर जाने हैं, right? But it depends on the situation that whether the fear plays a major factor or our bravery, our courage plays a major factor. Okay, so in simple words, कि ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ situations life ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆ ਜਾਂਦੀਆਂ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਡਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ but ਉਸ ਡਰ ਦਾ ਸਾਹਮਣਾ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ, that makes a difference. Okay, so either ਅਸੀਂ ਡਰ ਕੇ we become numb, ਅਸੀਂ react ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਪਾਉਂਦੇ or we can't face a situation, or ਅਸੀਂ courageous ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ, okay, aggressive ਹੋ ਕੇ ਉਸ ਡਰ ਤੋਂ ਲੜਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਤੇ then ਕੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ. So today our topic is a bit about this thing, so fear or no time for fear. So this is your topic for today, no time for fear. It's a chapter from the first section of your book Panorama of Life, right? So let's start the chapter. It's a very interesting story. No Time for Fear is a story about the bravery and courage of two young Canadians. So I would request here to all of you, you must be having pencils or pens and notebooks in front of you, because I am here to underline the main characters, the important sentences, okay, and the main events in this chapter along with. So you can note it down in your notebooks. So who are the young two Canadians? Malcolm and Barb. So these two are the main characters of the story, Malcolm and Barb, who had faced death on their first date. So Malcolm was a young boy, 19. So Malcolm, he was a boy of 19. And the Barb, she was a young girl of 18. So they were friends. They went out for a date, and that was a trekking date. So they went out to enjoy a hike. Hike means, what is hike? Either it's a trekking, jidon ਅਸੀਂ ਪਹਾੜਾਂ ਤੇ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ, but we go on foot. That's called hiking. At Balu Pass in British Columbia Glacier National Park. So this is the name that you will have to remember so as to answer some of the questions also. And where is this British Columbia? It is in Canada. So the trek was smooth. Okay, so hike or trek, they are the same words. It means you are elevating, okay, and you are walking on foot while attaining the elevation. So trek was smooth, but then it started snowing and they were forced to spend the night in one of the mountain cabins. Okay, so assume, so according to the pics, that these two friends were there. Okay, so this is the actual picture of that area, Balu Pass in British Columbia. So they went for hiking. Now look at the area. It has mountains also, greenery also, forest also. Pass is always, it's a valley in between the mountains. So it's a pass. So they were on this trekking side. The next morning the weather was clear. So for the first night they had to stay because it started snowing. The next morning the weather was clear. They started their downward journey. Okay, so look, the weather was perfect for trekking. Suddenly they saw two bear cubs. Okay, so these two are the grizzly cubs. Cubs means the small bears. Malcolm got worried. He thought their mother grizzly would also be near. So उन्होंने की सोचा कि दो बच्चे ते मैं देख ले grizzly दे. I think grizzly भी कितने नजदीक ही होनी है. Okay, so it aroused the fear in him. Okay, so as he was thinking of moving, so उन्हें की सोचा कि मैं इत्थों चलना जल्दी. The grizzly came running and attacked them. So the mother grizzly, finally she was in the picture, so she attacked both. Malcolm fell down senseless, but when he raised his head, he saw that the grizzly was standing on Barb's leg. Barb कौन सी? The friend, okay, जड़ी लड़की सीगी, the girl who was with Malcolm. So ओदी leg ते खड़ी है. So the grizzly was in attacking mode. Clear? Now, if you were in the same situation, what you would do? That you along with your friend are in a danger, okay, and your friend is more in a danger, or the life zyada dangerous hai. Now it depends how you react. Either you got frightened or you behave courageously. So look, let's see how Malcolm faced this. At that time, Malcolm thought that there was no time for fear. So उन्हें की सोचा कि there was no time for fear. हुन डरन दा time नहीं है. अगर वो डर जांदा तो grizzly could have attacked both, and immediately attacked the grizzly with a hunting knife in order to save the life of Barb. So Malcolm ने की कीता, hunting knife लेके grizzly ते attack करता. The grizzly snapped her head backwards and so quickly that Malcolm's knife was flung away and his wrist was broken. Look, so he is saving his friend from grizzly. Now when the grizzly left, Barb attacked Malcolm. Okay, so grizzly was in full attacking mode. In this picture, he tried to save his friend, but after that, grizzly attacked Malcolm. Unne Barb nu ta chhadta, but she attacked Malcolm. Okay. So then what happened? So grizzly, as it was in a very attacking mode, so Malcolm ne ki kita, the grizzly swatted him over his head. A patch of hair came off with most of his skull. Skull किनु कहने असी? Skull, सिर, खोपड़ी, ठीक है, सिर दा ये हिस्सा. So कहते patch of hair almost ओदे नाल ही आ गया. She scratched his face with her sharp claws. Claws की हुंदे हैं नाखून, पंजे. This is claws. Okay, so it's a grizzlies या तो see even we. The claws are this. Every animal has this claws. Malcolm thought his end was near. Malcolm ने की सोचा कि मैं बस खत्म आज, मेरा end near है. He stopped struggling. Grizzly thought he was dead and left him. Okay, ਅਸੀਂ ਛੋਟੇ ਹੁੰਦਿਆਂ ਇੱਕ ਪੜ੍ਹੀ ਹੋਈ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਕਹਾਣੀ ਦੋ ਦੋਸਤਾਂ ਦੀ ਕਿ when the grizzly attacked, ਉਹਨੇ act ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਕੀਤਾ ਕਿ ਹਾਂ ਉਹਨੇ अपना सांस रोक ਲਈ और show ਕੀਤਾ कि I am dead. So same thing happened here. Grizzly thought Malcolm is dead and she left the place. ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਕੀ ਹੋਇਆ? Barb crawled towards Malcolm. He was badly injured. He rushed to lodge to get help. Okay, so in this way Grizzly first of all attacked Malcolm, and when he became senseless, she left. उन्हें सोचा कि ये मार गया हुन. Ned Claw, a first aid attendant, wrapped Malcolm's wounds with a gauze and strapped him in a stretcher. So Ned Claw, कौन सीगा? Ned Claw, he was a first aid attendant. So Ned Claw was a first aid attendant. He took Malcolm to the on a stretcher to the hospital. Okay, so he was the second person. First was his friend. So you will see. Okay, so what happened? Malcolm was taken to Queen Victoria Hospital in Revelstoke. He was operated on for 7 hours at a stretch, and more than 1,000 stitches were put on his body. So 1,000 stitches were put on his body, means he was brutally wounded, brutally injured by the grizzly. इन्ने ज़्यादा उन्होंने injuries हुईयां सीगियां कि almost 1,000 stitches जड़े होते लगे. Soon he was out of danger. According to the attending doctor, restoring Malcolm's face was like putting a jigsaw puzzle together. Okay, so a quick question. Can you tell me what was the name of a place where they went for trekking? हाँ जी शाबाश दस्यो केड़ी जगह ते वो ट्रैकिंग ली गए सी हाइकिंग ली? Yes, very good. Think. Yes, it's Balu Pass in British Columbia, Canada. Very good. And what was the name of the girl? Yes, it was Barb. Very good. Okay, so after that, the stitching, the Malcolm face was put a jigsaw puzzle together. Jigsaw puzzle means ਉਹਦੇ ਚਿਹਰੇ ਤੇ ਇੰਨੇ ਕੁ ਟਾਂਕੇ ਲੱਗ ਚੁੱਕੇ ਸੀ, stitches ਲੱਗ ਚੁੱਕੇ ਸੀ, ਕੁਝ ਪਤਾ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ ਲੱਗ ਰਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਕਿਹੜਾ stitch ਕਿੱਧਰ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਔਰ ਕਿੱਧਰ ਨਹੀਂ. So it was a puzzle. Later he was shifted to a hospital in hometown Edmonton. One day Malcolm was alone in the hospital. He walked slowly to washroom and saw his face in the mirror. Okay, so picture just depicts that a man is watching his face in the mirror. Okay, and he was very disappointed because his face was horribly ugly and disfigured. Ugly and disfigured, वो बहुत बदसूरत हो गया सी और disfigured ਉਹਦੇ ਚਿਹਰੇ ਤੇ totally ਜਿਹੜਾ stitches ਦੇ ਕਾਰਨ his face was not worth seeing. So he was depressed, disappointed, depressed, निराश होना. So that was in Malcolm's on Malcolm's face now. Okay, that's clear in the picture. Then what happened? Bob, ਹੁਣ ਮੈਲਕਮ ਨੇ ਕੀ ਕੀਤਾ ਕਿ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਬਾਬ ਦੀਆਂ ਲੈਟਰਸ ਦਾ ਜਵਾਬ ਦੇਣਾ ਬੰਦ ਕਰ ਦਿੱਤਾ. He was very introvert at that very time. But Bob truly loved Malcolm. Bob truly ਉਹ ਮੈਲਕਮ ਨੂੰ love ਕਰਦੀ ਸੀਗੀ. One morning she came to meet him after traveling a long distance of 1250 kilometers. So ਜਦੋਂ ਉਹਨੇ ਕਾਫੀ ਦੇਰ ਤੱਕ ਉਹਦੀ ਲੈਟਰਸ ਦਾ ਜਵਾਬ ਨਹੀਂ ਦਿੱਤਾ, then Barb fly karke 1250 kilometers, it's almost from one end of India to another end, ਉਹਦੇ ਕੋਲ ਆਈ. They talked for 2 long hours. ਕਾਫੀ ਦੇਰ she tried to talk to him, she tried to console him, but ਉਹਦੀ empathy, ਉਹਦੀ ਜਿਹੜਾ concern ਇਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀਗਾ कि he has saved my life or something, but he was genuinely concerned as a friend's life is. So in January, she sent him a marriage proposal. Okay, so when she sent a marriage proposal in the month of January, okay, so January cho ne marriage proposal bheja, she wrote it's a leap year, should get married this year. Okay, so it was very strange for Malcolm also. But what happened afterwards? Yes, on 21st July 1973, they were happily married. So you will have to remember this date also. On 21st of July 1973, they were happily married. Now, why these dates and quotes are mentioned? Because it's a real story, it's a true story. So students, ये नहीं सोचना कि it's a manipulated story या किसी ने लिखी है. Actually, it's the real story of 2 young Canadians जिन्हां नूं ये problem face करनी पई. But how they faced the problem, how they faced the struggle with the grizzly, and how they were saved from the situation. Okay, so on 21st July 1973, they were happily married. Then ਹੁਣ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਇਟ ਵਾਜ਼ ਅ ਬਰੇਵਰੀ ਇਵੈਂਟ, ਇਟ ਵਾਜ਼ ਅ ਗੈਲੈਂਟਰੀ ਇਵੈਂਟ. ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਮੈਲਕਮ ਨੂੰ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਮੈਡਲਸ ਮਿਲੇ. ਮੈਲਕਮ ਵਾਜ਼ ਅਵਾਰਡਡ ਮੈਨੀ ਮੈਡਲਸ ਫॉर ਹਿਜ਼ ਰੇਅਰ courage, bravery. These are all the words for the justifying the action that Malcolm did. Okay, so his rare courage, bravery, and his sense of sacrifice. Why the sense of sacrifice is mentioned here? Yes, what is sacrifice? That we do for others. That we do for others. ਹੁਣ ਸਿਚੁਏਸ਼ਨ ਜੋ ਸੀਗੀ ਮੈਲਕਮ ਆਪਣੀ ਲਾਈਫ ਬਚਾਉਣ ਲਈ ਉੱਥੋਂ ਭੱਜ ਵੀ ਸਕਦਾ ਸੀਗਾ, ਬਟ what he tried to save his friend, okay, without thinking about the danger, actual danger that his life could have. So this is the sense of sacrifice. Today Malcolm and Barb are a happily married couple. So ਅੱਜ ਵੀ ਹੈ ਨੇ, but ਅੱਜ ਇਹ couple ਜਿਹੜਾ happily married ਹੈ. Barb says she did not marry Malcolm out of a sense of obligation. Now this is a very important line. Actually it's the crux of the entire story. Barb ਇਹ ਕਹਿ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਮੈਲਕਮ ਨਾਲ ਉਹਨੇ ਮੈਰਿਜ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆਊਟ ਆਫ ਆਬਲੀਗੇਸ਼ਨ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀਤੀ, ਉਹਦੇ ਅਹਿਸਾਨ ਦਾ ਬਦਲਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਚੁਕਾਇਆ ਕਿ ਹੀ ਸੇਵਡ ਹਰ ਲਾਈਫ, ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਉਹ ਮੈਰਿਜ ਕਰ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ. No, but Why she did that? Because she was in true love with that person. Or उन्हें क्या, she believes that scars, they don't change a person. Okay, so why the Malcolm was very sad and upset that now his face was disfigured and he would be not loved by anyone. But Barb, she proved that she has not married with Malcolm out of a sense of obligation, but she believes कि stars जड़े या person change नहीं कर दे, they can change only the face, but the person who has loved her so much, he is the same. Okay, so this was the story actually about Malcolm and Barb. Undoubtedly, it's a summarized story that we have put here, but jadi book de vich hai, it's a long extended version. You can take the reference of the book also, but summarized story is in this form. So 3 main things to remember. Malcolm is there, Barb is there, these two are the friends. They went to Balu Pass National Park in British Columbia for what? For trekking or hiking. Why I am just recapitulating all these things? क्योंकि इस तो बाद we are going to deal with the questions. उन्होंने questions उसी इस तरह ही answer देने हैं. Okay? So there, Grizzly first of all attacked whom? Yes, Malcolm, he was senseless. बाजो Barb ਨੂੰ attack ਕੀਤਾ ਉਹਨੇ, but to save Barb, Malcolm was there with a hunting knife. Okay, and then he attacked the Grizzly, और उस तो बाद Grizzly जड़ी है, in response, she badly injured Malcolm. But ਜਦੋਂ ਉਹਨੇ feel ਕੀਤਾ कि Malcolm is half dead or senseless, so she left. इस करके कि उन्हें सोचा कि हाँ जी Malcolm दी death हो चुकी है. Then Barb, she took the rescue operation. उन्हें बाकी Ned ਨੂੰ ਲੈ ਕੇ, ਉਹਦੇ friend ਨੂੰ ਲੈ ਕੇ, that you would be getting the name soon. So Malcolm finally बचा लिया, but he was operated in hospital. And then what happened, you all know. Okay, so I think you are prepared for the questions now. Yes? Okay, let's go with the questions. Who were Malcolm and Barb? Okay, Malcolm and Barb, कौन सीगे? Yes, they were Canadian friends who loved each other very much. Okay, so before marriage they were friends. Malcolm कौन सीगा? A guy of 19 and Barb was a girl of 18. Okay, so where did they go on their date? Yes, you remember the name? They went on their date to Balu Pass in British Columbia National Park. And I told you, where is this British Columbia National Park? That is in Canada. Okay, so British Columbia is a province in Canada. Now, why were they forced to spend the night in a cabin? So, उन्होंने उथे night spend क्यों करनी पई सी? क्योंकि it was a day trip. Initially, they planned a day trip. Okay, they will hike and they will come back. But ਕੀ ਹੋਇਆ ਜਿਹਦੇ ਕਾਰਨ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਉੱਥੇ ਰਾਤ ਰੁਕਣਾ ਪਿਆ? So they were forced to spend the night in a cabin because of an unexpected snowfall during their hike. Okay, so unexpected snowfall during their hike. There was a snowfall, sudden snowfall. What is unexpected? That is sudden. You are not prepared for that. Okay, during their hike, and then they came back. Okay, so next questions. Who attacked Barb? Yes. किन्ने attack किया सी बाब ते? Hurry up. And second question is, how did Malcolm try to save Barb from the grizzly? Third is, why did the grizzly leave Malcolm? I'm giving you 1 minute to think about these questions and then you will give the answer. Yes, who attacked Barb? Attack कौन कर रहा सीगा? Cubs or grizzly? Yes, the mother grizzly. Very good. How did Malcolm try to save Barb from the grizzly? किस तरह ने try किया save करने लई? Very good. Go to the reference. Yes. And why did the grizzly leave Malcolm? Grizzly ने leave क्यों करता Malcolm ਨੂੰ? मार भी सकती सी ਉਹਨੂੰ पूरी तरह. What happened? She left Malcolm. Okay. Okay. So let's go with the answers. So who attacked Barb? Mother grizzly attacked Barb. Or only you can say the grizzly attacked Barb. Clear? How did Malcolm try to save Barb from the grizzly? Yes, you can also add here with bravery. But let's go to the answer. Malcolm grabbed a hunting knife from his belt and ran towards the bear. उन्हें की किया हंटिंग नाइफ लिया और उन्हें हमला कर देता कितने ran towards the bear. Okay, grizzly and bear one are the same word. Okay, bear and grizzly जिन्हों ਅਸੀਂ gorilla कहते हैं एक तरह दा, so they are the same words. Okay, he attacked the grizzly with that knife in order to save the life of Barb. और जे उन्हें ना हमला कीता होंदा the Barb, okay, फिर की होना सीगा Barb could have died. Why did Grizzly leave Malcolm? It was simple, yes. So Malcolm closed his eyes. He thought his end was near and stopped struggling. Malcolm ने की कीता उन्हें अपनी आँखें बंद कर लिया. He thought मेरा end नजदीक है. And he stopped struggling. And what Grizzly thought? Grizzly thought कि Malcolm जड़ा है वो खत्म हो चुका है. He is dead, and that's why he left Malcolm. Okay, if you want to have the proper line, okay, you can go with this reference. Yes. Okay, so Malcolm thought his end was near. He stopped struggling. Okay, so the grizzly thought, this is the answer actually. The grizzly thought he was dead and left him. I told you the story also of that. Okay, so the grizzly thought he was dead and he left him. You can add this answer here. Grizzly thought that Malcolm was dead and she left Malcolm. Why? Because उन्हें सोचा कि Malcolm जड़ा वो मर चुका. Okay. Now the next questions. What did Barb do when she saw Malcolm after the grizzly had gone? हुन दसो तुसी भी what did Barb do ਜਦੋਂ ਉਹਨੇ ਦੇਖਿਆ कि grizzly चली गई है ते Malcolm ने की कीता? Second question is, who was Gaudy Peto? What did he say to Malcolm? And third is, who was Ned Claw? How did he help Malcolm? Okay, so the first question, the Barb, when he say to Malcolm, she saw Malcolm after the grizzly had gone. Okay, so Malcolm ne ki kita, sorry. When Barb saw that Malcolm was serious, she put her coat on him and rushed to lodge to get help. So, but what was the action of Barb? Barb ne ki kita कि ਜਦੋਂ ਉਹਨੇ ਦੇਖਿਆ कि Malcolm बहुत serious है, उन्हें अपना कोट उदे ऊपर पा देता and she rushed to lodge to get the help, or you can only write this, she rushed to get the help. Then only she get her friend also, okay, and first aid also, right? Even in your life, when you are dealing with such situation or any of the situation when a person is badly injured, the first thing that you would be doing, that is with the first aid. You will call for the first aid, okay, or you will see whosoever is the available person there. Now, this is the new name, Gaudy Peto. What did he say to Malcolm? Yes, who was Gaudy Peto? Gaudy Peto was a warden and Malcolm's good friend. वो वार्डन सेगा ठीक है उस पार्क दा and he was Malcolm's good friend. ਉਹਦਾ ਦੋਸਤ ਵੀ ਸੀਗਾ. अच्छा, he told Malcolm that he always ended up looking after him. ਉਹਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਕਾਫੀ ਦੇਰ ਤੋਂ ਲੱਭ ਰਿਹਾ ਸੀ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ yesterday it happened, what happened? Sudden snowfall was there, okay, and you didn't show up, so he was ended up looking after him. So the first help, this was the first help, not first aid, first help that Malcolm got, that was of Gaudy Peto. Who was Ned Claw? How did he help Malcolm? Ned Claw kaun sega? Ned Claw was a first aid attendant. Okay, so this is the difference. He was first aid attendant, but पहला इंसान जड़ा वो कौन मिला उन्हें? Gaudy Peto, the first help. So the first aid attendant, he wrapped Malcolm's face and chewed gashes on his legs in gauze. Then he strapped him in a stretcher. The grizzly thought he was dead and left him. Okay, so this is not of this question. Okay, this was that line. So the answer is Ned Claw was a first aid attendant. He wrapped Malcolm's face and sewed gashes on his legs in gauze. Then he strapped in a stretcher. Only here up to this the answer is. Okay, this is not for you. This doesn't belong to this question. Right. So ਉਹਨੇ ਕੀ ਕੀਤਾ ਫਸਟ ਏਡ ਅਟੈਂਡੈਂਟ ਨੇ ਪਹਿਲੇ ਤੇ ਮੈਲਕਮ ਦਾ ਚਿਹਰਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਰੈਪ ਕੀਤਾ what's wrap means cover ਕਰਨਾ you know what is wrapping paper you use in your homes also ਔਰ ਬਾਅਦ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਗੈਸ਼ਸ ਜਿੱਥੋਂ ਬਲੱਡ ਨਿਕਲ ਰਿਹਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਉਹਦੀ ਲੈਗਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਗੱਡੇ ਪੈ ਗਏ ਸੀਗੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਟ੍ਰੈਪ ਕੀਤਾ ਔਰ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਬਾਅਦ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਟ੍ਰੈਚਰ ਤੇ ਸਟ੍ਰੈਪ ਕੀਤਾ ਤਾਂ ਕਿ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਫਸਟ ਏਡ ਦੇ ਕੇ ਹਸਪੀਟਲ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਜਾਇਆ ਜਾ ਸਕੇ ਤਾਂ ਪ੍ਰਾਇਮਰੀਲੀ ਹੀ ਵਾਸ ਟੇਕਨ ਟੂ hospital. Okay, next is what made Malcolm almost sick. Almost sick here, sick बीमार नहीं है. Almost sick here means disappointed or निराश केड़ी गलों हो गया सीगा वो. Okay, you know this? Yes. When Malcolm saw his hairless head and thick scars that crisscrossed on one side of his face, it almost made him sick. Sick means he lost his senses. Okay. So lost his senses. Clear? So ਉਹਨੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਦੇਖਿਆ ਕਿ ਹਾਂ ਯਾਰ ਬਸ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਮੈਂ ਤੇ ਖਤਮ ਹੀ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਲੱਗ ਰਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਮੇਰੀ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ 'ਚ ਕੁਝ ਨਹੀਂ ਰਹਿ ਗਿਆ. Clear? So it refers to two incidents here. One when Grizzly attacked Malcolm and second when he saw his face. Why did he ignore Bob's letters? ਹੁਣ ਬਾਬ ਦੀਆਂ letters ਉਹਨੇ ਕਿਉਂ ignore ਕਰਨੀਆਂ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰਤੀਆਂ? Yes. Yes, he ignored Bob's letters thinking how anyone could love a patient. Okay, so or a patient कह सकते हो or you can say helpless person. Clear? So ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹਾ ਕੋਈ ਬੰਦਾ ਜਿਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਿਰਫ sympathy ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ. Okay, he now after this incident he became a target of sympathy ਕਿ ਹਾਂ ਯਾਰ ਹੁਣ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਸਿਰਫ सहानुभूति जताई जा सकती है कि हाँ ठीक नहीं है ਉਹਦਾ ਚਿਹਰਾ ਵਿਗੜ ਗਿਆ he is bedridden so he is all face ugly and so ਇਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਸਿਰਫ ਇਹ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਸੋਚ ਚੁੱਕਾ ਮੈਲਕਮ ਕਿ ਹਾਂ now I am a person who cannot be loved but who can earn sympathy of all others. So that's why he started ignoring Bob's letters. Clear? So Bob ने की कीता सी she didn't leave that thing. She didn't give up. Okay. So give up ਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਕੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ? ਹਥਿਆਰ ਛੱਡਣਾ. ਉਹਨੇ ਆਪਣਾ ਹੌਸਲਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਛੱਡਿਆ. Okay, she didn't give up but she tried. ਫਿਰ ਕੀ ਹੋਇਆ? Then she came to him and she talked to him for 2 hours. She consoled him. Finally ਕੀ ਹੋਇਆ? When did they get married? Yes, I told you the date to be remembered. On 21st July 1973, they were happily married. Clear? So जिथे भी जड़ा town सीगा, so they were happily married on 21st of July 1973. Why did Bob marry Malcolm? Now this is the very important question, or you can say this is the crux of the entire story. कि Bob ने marry क्यों कीता Malcolm ਨੂੰ? Either it was out of obligation or out of friendship or out of love. Now this is a question for you also to think over कि रब ना करे खुदा ना खास्ता if you deal with such a situation what would be your exact relevant answer to marry that question. Clear? Actually, so Bob married Malcolm because she loved him truly. So ਉਹ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਪਿਆਰ ਕਰਦੀ ਸੀਗੀ no matter what according to her scars do to his face. So scars ਨੇ ਉਹਦੇ face ਨੂੰ ਕੀ ਕੀਤਾ? ਉਹਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਫਰਕ ਨਹੀਂਗਾ. Right? But she was in love with that person. And this is a life learning lesson also that ਅਸੀਂ ਇਨਸਾਨ ਚੇਂਜ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ. Okay? But we will not change the attitude, we will not change the behavior, we will not change the qualities of that person. Clear? So that's why she married whom? Malcolm. So this was actually the chapter today. Okay, so now what I want to show is, now we just refer to the first slide, that this is the slide. Okay, so now the chapter justifies whether it's a thing to be feared, fear, or no time for fear. So in this chapter, yes, no time for fear was there. Now there are some long answer type questions that you will deal from the textbook. Mainly the character sketch of Bob is there, character sketch of Malcolm is there, theme is there, and entire encounter of Grizzly with Malcolm is there. Clear? We could not add here because it could make the topic a very lengthy topic, but there definitely you can get the help of your teacher and from your book also, and try to write it in your own way. And one question I would give you, if you are in the same situation, what you would do then? Okay, this is an additional thing. ਤੁਸੀਂ खुद लिखना है and your teachers will help in that. कि ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਹੀ कोई problem ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹੀ ਪੈ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ, you are in the same situation, how would you face that situation? How would you end that situation? Okay, so thank you, thanks a lot. See you in the next lecture. Till then, bye bye. Take good care of your health.